Hello, good evening. Hello, I'm Eilers-Heffner, Sapphire Ambassador. Welcome, welcome. So I think the timing of this worked out great that we can do a quick Super Saturday recap, especially with some of my girls that either it was their first event, their first Super Saturday, their first in-person thing, or maybe more seasoned, but just the contrast or the new experience that this Super Saturday was. So I just loved that we could go as a small group and that we were with a big group, but it wasn't humongous. In the past, before COVID, we would travel to like all kinds of different locations all over the country. And it was a lot of, some of them were really far away. And then we had ice storms that canceled it and we couldn't go. And then we couldn't even get together and hang out virtually and do it virtually together because of the roads being so bad. Like it's been years. So leading up to this, I was just praying and praying that the roads would be clear and we could make it to Grand Rapids. And it was one of my favorite ones, just like somewhat intimate, but still big. I don't know how else to say that. So I am going to let Tracy Adkins share next, and then I will wrap it up with some final thoughts at the end.
Hello. Okay. All right. So this is way out of my comfort zone. So bear with me. I did write it down so I didn't forget. But anyways, so this was my first real in-person event. I was a little nervous about going. I wasn't sure really what to expect. I just felt like I was going to be this tiny little silver in a room full of jewels. And I kept building up my head that these people were nothing like me. You know, they have all these special skills that I don't. And I was allowing myself to think there was no way I could do what they do. And I even was wondering why I was there. However, throughout the day, there were several times that I heard them saying, including Elizabeth, you know, anyone can be a jewel or anyone can be a diamond. And they also would say, you don't have to be perfect to do this business. It was moments like that when I began to realize that they were human, just like I am. They have their strengths, their weaknesses, their dreams, their goals and fears, just like I do. And then we got to listen to our keynote speaker, Valerie Burton. She's the founder and CEO of the Coaching and Positive Psychology Institute. And she stated that successful people think differently. They look at what they want instead of focusing on what they don't want. And they also, when they're facing a challenge, they make the choice that will bring them closer to their goals, even if it's not the easier way to go. But it's that mindset of thinking that our jewels and our diamonds have. It isn't something they were born with necessarily. I mean, some people maybe, but not everyone. But they had to make that choice to develop that. And so one of the quotes that Valerie said on Saturday was, how far you go depends on how much you're willing to grow. And that really stuck with me because that's not just doing what the team does for the IPA and all of that, but also making sure we include that personal development to help get over all of our fears and work through that to make those good choices. So that was what I took away, along with a lot of other things, but those were the main points that stuck out for me. So anyways.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And I think you're hilarious because you've known me for years and you
but not everyone else, but Jenny's smile does help.
I know. I'm telling you, that's the Zoom trick, you guys. If you're nervous, you look at Jenny and she will make you feel like you are saying the best things ever. So we have Megan next. Megan, are you on? You got to unmute and go if you are. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and go to Melissa.
Here I am. Can you hear me? Okay. Megan Brooks, everybody, Senior Gold Ambassador. I unfortunately did not attend this year's Super Saturday in person. I was not able to go. So sad because I love doing events with our team. But I did watch virtually. So it was still fantastic. Love being on, love everything that was said. And of course, the product launch is absolutely incredible. But one of my biggest takeaways was at the end, I can't remember her name. the keynote speaker at the end, she was just bringing the heat, and she just said what stuck out to me was progress over perfection. And that is just huge with our business and even in our lives. I mean, nothing has to be perfect. Nobody has to be perfect. None of us are perfect. I mean, hello, look at me. Like, I mean, we all are just like, we're here, we're showing up. We're not perfect, but we're here and we're making progress. And that is one thing that I'm really working on moving forward with my team, is like, you don't have to know everything. You don't have to know where to find everything. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep going and you will move that needle forward. And so that was just really huge for me. And I loved that. And I actually wrote it down, put it like with all my affirmations. So I am super looking forward to convention with all of you guys, because I missed out so much. I was so sad. And I think Melissa's going to share next.
Yes. Thank you for sharing, Megan. We definitely missed you. Yes, convention was Super Saturday. I'm looking forward to convention, but Super Saturday was really good. It's always so nice to be in person and just see everyone there and make connections. And just some of my biggest takeaways from everything that kind of ran through the theme between what in person, we had the Jewels share kind of their story and their journey to the top, what took them there, versus, throughout Super Saturday, a lot of people talked about just like the thoughts and the feelings that get you to the top, and having that positive mindset and building the belief. And, at one point, I don't remember who said it, but when you're happier, you're more likely to be successful. So just really trying to figure out, through journaling, through coaching with your upline, through, just self-reflection, figuring out what thoughts do you have to tell yourself? What are you telling yourself now to get to the top? What do you need to tell yourself to be a jewel? How much you're willing to grow? And what's the lesson through all of this? That, of course, we continue to fail forward and continue to reach through things. And we just continue to learn. We're obviously not going to be perfect through it all, but just continuing, okay, well, that didn't go great. Like, what are we going to do next? And, as the Jewels kind of shared, that everyone has their challenges and their ups and downs throughout life, and they look different for all of us. I mean, I've never had fertility struggles like Lauren had shared and stuff, but I have my own, and Elizabeth had her own, and Sally and Sue and Jamie Haskins all have their own ups and downs. And it's how you go about reflecting on it and looking at your thoughts and feelings and moving beyond, because we're all capable of being diamonds. It's just having that perseverance and looking for the happiness where you're at now, so that way you can continue to persevere and push forward and reach your goals and do amazing things. So those were my biggest takeaways, just the whole vibe of it all. And it was amazing being in person and sharing that with others.
I love it. Thank you, Melissa. And we have Jenny.
Hello. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, okay. Tessa just ran in, so hopefully she's back in bed. But Elizabeth, when you asked me to do this morning, this is like Tracy, way out of my comfort zone. It makes me so nervous. But my biggest takeaway, honestly, not with the Super Saturday just made it that much bigger, but self-worth and self-motivation is everything for success. So a year ago when I first started, my brain, my thoughts were just in the dump. Everything that I was telling myself, it was yucky. I literally, I paid for an app that gave me motivational tips every hour on the hour, just a positive affirmations that seriously changes. I took a picture. Okay, hold on. Let me get to my notes. What they said was, what you focus on expands. So how do you define success, and what is your goals? And you have to believe that you can do it. you know, you keep telling yourself that you're not good enough, that nobody's going to listen to you, that I don't know enough. Again, what you think on it stands. So you have to keep coaching yourself. You have to keep giving yourself those positive things, and maybe ask yourself, like, what's in your way? What's in your way of making you believe in yourself? What are those thoughts that you're telling yourself? And what are you saying to yourself about your possibilities, about your goals, about your financial goals? You know, like, really think about those things all the time. And like everybody said, you have to cultivate positive emotions towards all of these things. Every thought that runs through your head, try to stop yourself and think about, you know, am I thinking positively about that, or am I thinking negatively about that? It's going to steer your whole day. So you have to stop trying to fix your weaknesses, and stop obsessing over what's wrong, and start building on what's right and building on your goals. And I took a picture as I sat down to write this today. I took a picture of me just sitting here. And as I was like looking at the picture, which I'm going to post after this, but as I was looking at the picture, I realized that my fear is down here in this little corner. And all of my notes are all of my positive things that I, you know, like, and it just gave me like this little feeling of like, haha, like I'm drowning out my fear down here and covering it with all of this other positive stuff. I've told my story to a few people, but when I started, it made me realize I was in the car at a stoplight, and to think about these positive affirmations coming in, and some of them I would go, well, God, yeah, I wish I could feel like that. Well, yeah, I don't feel like that, you know. This is what I'm telling myself. So, like, you know, you got to flip those things around and start making positive emotions on it. So my action step is actually, before I'm sending all of my messages from here on out, before I send these messages, I want to know, like, how is this person's life better because I'm in it? What positive things am I bringing to them in their life? So that is it.
Oh my goodness, you guys are blowing me away. I just love all of this, and that so much of your mindset shifts and the action step behind it, you know, and having a plan, and not just, yep, I need to work on my mindset, or okay, I'm going to be a more positive person about this, but being intentional with the action steps behind that is huge. So congratulations, like, well done. I'm so happy for you. And this is really going to push your business forward. So I will share with you my biggest takeaway. This is kind of funny. There were several, but even just talking to the other Jewels, we had the opportunity to hang out with Craig Kryler from corporate. And he was funny. He's like, get whatever you want. It's on Uncle Taro. Go crazy. And just the generosity of our company, right? Sending someone for corporate. And he did talk, and he had some really good things to say. So what I will briefly touch on with that is that they are working on our tech side of things. And he said the biggest challenge is it's like fixing a car engine while the car is running down the highway. Like, it's hard to fix something that's up and running. So they are working on our tech issues. And as you can see with the add a cart or send a cart feature that we have now, like, it's a huge step in the tech department for us. And that's amazing. And he actually was saying that it's crazy how some parts of the corporate side of things, not our products, not our people, not our events have blown him out of the water. He is like, I can't even believe how amazing our events are. The gifting, the comp plan, the gifts that Plexus gives us, all of that is just amazing. And you know what? It just proves it doesn't matter if our tech is behind. It doesn't matter. Like, none of that matters. You know, what matters is how we move forward with our businesses, and that we know that our products and our opportunity is what people need. It doesn't matter if our tech side is behind. It doesn't matter. So really, that was encouraging though. He said, yeah, we're working on that. So know that that's a thing. If that's like something that's super important to you, I'm like, I don't care. know how to work it. I can help people. We'll move forward with it. But that was cool. It was just really cool again to see the generosity of our company, even in though that feature of sending Craig and having Craig take the jewels out. And then this is kind of crazy to say as a Sapphire, but hearing different jewels talk, hearing stories from you guys, hearing stories from different people, and what people I've heard over and over is hearing all these stories is just really built my belief, like in person. And there's definitely something different than in person than even like sharing our story online, sharing our story in social media. But to sit around and say, oh, well, the nerve helped my feet stop tingling and hurting and burning. Oh, well, I don't have sciatic pain anymore. Oh, well, this, being able to just hear these like even bits and pieces of people's stories in person just like pumps up our belief so much. It's like when the Grinch's heart grows and grows and grows, it's like that's what happens to our belief every time that we all get to hang out together. And so my action step, and I've been working towards this in my mind and with my team, but like doing in person, like sip and sees, in-person events in between the corporate ones. And I'm super pumped to just bring more and more people to any event that we can possibly get them to. And that, it takes a little more time and effort. And I am a very social person, you guys know this, but to think about leaving my kids for another thing when I was working full time, and that's where I want to say, you guys that are working full time and you have kids or you're going to have a kid soon, like it isn't always easy to leave your house, but to make some effort in doing that, even every 6 weeks or something, is still going to really help build the belief in those that you're meeting with. It pumps you up and motivates you to do more. So that I think was really encouraging to hear just how belief building that can be, to be in person. And my second best thing I think that we can do, if we can't always be together, is to be talking in our stories and even going Facebook Live. I think you can go Instagram Live, right? Like talking face to face to our audience in a real, not just written out, typed up information, which is still important. Don't get me wrong. It's all important, but incorporating some of that in your face or FaceTime with people, even if that is virtual, might be a nice challenge too, to work on, and just sharing our stories and sharing other people's stories, so those were my things. Did anyone have anything else to add? We have a couple more minutes.
I'll add a little something more. Can you hear me? One thing that always stands out to me is, I know people say it a lot, but choose progress over perfection, because I'm a super perfectionist, and that delayed me a lot in the beginning. I always wanted everything perfect and not knowing everything, and just go for it. Just put it out there. That's what I'm gonna start doing. Yeah.
Absolutely. So important. All right. Well, thank you. And if now wasn't the best time to put a takeaway, my encouragement to you is even to type something up and put it in our team page. Do a quick video for the team page if you want, like put your biggest takeaway. And I'm one too, that as I'm thinking and reflecting back on experiences, then more and more comes to mind. And so, even in a few days, if you're like, oh yeah, I really like that, that's really still resonating with me, then get that out for us to share and celebrate with you. So, all right, you guys, thanks so much for jumping on. Have a great week. I'm so glad we got together a bit today on Monday.